Shalini, DL in English from TTWREIS Method. Let's start a class. A little knowledge or learning is a dangerous thing. Once again, a little knowledge or learning is a dangerous thing. Like this is taken from the poem An Essay on Criticism, written by Alexander Pope, one of the greatest poets of early 18th century. So what does this mean? Like he meant to say that little learning or knowledge is a dangerous thing. It only befuddles us or intoxicates us. It poisons our brain, misleading us into thinking that we know more than what we actually do. So little knowledge or learning is a dangerous thing, and the only remedy to this is continuing to learn. So let's try to upgrade ourselves with more knowledge, continue our learning process, and today let's learn something about determiners, which is very important to you. So look at the following sentences. I'll read out for you. I saw a boy at the gate. The boy was holding an umbrella. Our house is next to the bakery. The few words she spoke were well chosen. Were you looking for these books? I want 4 pens. Like if you focus on the underlined words, a, the, are, the, few, these, 4. All these words, they have something in common. They're all followed by nouns. Like A is followed by boy, the is followed by gate, are is followed by house, the bakery, few words, these books, 4 pens. So these words, the underlined words which come before nouns, they are called as determiners. Like they define the noun that follows them. They tell about the noun that follows them. So our topic today is determiners. By the end of this class, you will know about determiners, types of determiners, and how to accurately use determiners within the sentences. So as I told you, determiners means the words which come before noun. They define noun, they qualify noun, they give a clarity to the noun that follows them. You get a better quality, you will understand whether these nouns are specific nouns or general nouns. Like if you see our previous slide, I saw a boy at the gate. The boy was holding an umbrella. Like if you focus on A and boy, a boy, I saw a boy, it's some boy. Like we do not know exactly who we are talking about. The boy is new to us. So we have used a general determiner A before it. And I saw a boy at the gate. We know the gate, it is our gate, so we are specific about the gate. So we have used a specific determiner, the, over there. And the boy was holding an umbrella, some umbrella generally. So here these determiners, they tell us whether the nouns that they are pointing are general or specific. So let's see the types of determiners. There are 4 types of determiners. So we have there are 4 types of determiners. Actually, there are many more types of determiners, like we have numbers, distributives, etc. But these four are very important for us to know more properly about determiners. So we have articles, demonstratives, possessives and quantifiers. So let's see each one of them in detail. Like we all know that there are three articles in English. One is a, and the other one is the. A and an, we call them as indefinite articles, and the is a definite article. Okay. So a and an are indefinite articles. They are indefinite articles. They come under general determiners. They are general determiners because we use a and an when we are mentioning something for the first time, and when we talk about the noun that we are referring to in a general sense. Like we are not specific, we do not know anything about the noun, we are introduced to the noun for the first time, so we are indefinite. So when we are referring to the noun that is indefinite, we use these articles a and an, which are indefinite articles. They are demonstrative, we also call them as demonstrative adjectives. Then we have the article de, which is definite. This comes under specific determiner. Article de is the definite article. It is the definite article because we use this with something that has already been mentioned, or the listener or reader knows who the person or thing is referred to. So that is the definite article. We use a definite article de when we know something about the person or thing that is being referred to. So under general determiners, like our main objective is to know the general and the specific determiners. So in the category articles, we have three articles a and an. A and the. In this, a and an comes under indefinite articles, the comes under definite article. Then we'll see what demonstratives are. Demonstratives, these are words that come before noun, and they indicate the position of the object. They demonstrate, they indicate the position of the object of an event or the person. Okay, they tell about the nearness to or distance from the speaker. So we have the words which come under demonstratives, words like this, that, this, that, these, those. These four are demonstratives. Like we use this for a singular noun when we refer to a singular noun which is close by to the speaker. Like this marker is blue in color. So I'm demonstrating, I'm showing that this marker is blue in color. Then that, it is also used with a singular noun, but which is far away from the speaker. This is used with a singular noun and it should be close by to the speaker. That with something, a singular noun that is far from the speaker. Then we have these. These is used with plural nouns which are nearby to the speaker, and those with plural nouns which are far away from the speaker. So this, that, these, those. Now what do they come under? Do they come under the general determiners or the specific determiners? Now these four, they come under specific determiners. these come under specific determiners because we are definite about what we are speaking. Like we know that we are referring to a particular thing, like it may be this or that, these or those, like you know what you are pointing at. So, for that we use these demonstratives which are specific determiners. Then coming to possessives. Our next type of determiner is possessives. Possessive pronouns. Under possessive pronouns, we have the words my, his, her, their, our, its, your, etc. So, the words my, his, her, their, our, its, your are possessive pronouns. And if you see, like I am definite about this, like my students, his pens, her books. Okay. So, because we know what we are referring to, these also come under specific determiners. Okay. These also come under specific determiners. And the last one is quantifiers. So, possessives are the words which talk about possession or the ownership, something belonging to a person. If I say it's my marker, this marker belongs to me. So, it's my marker. Marker is a noun. My Then we have quantifiers. Quantifiers, words which come before noun, which indicate the quantity, amount, rank or order. So, we have many quantifiers like many, few, much, some, any, etc. So, if you see this possessive, they come under specific determiners, and the quantifiers, they come under general determiners. Okay. Okay. So, now we have learned about different types of determiners, and we have also seen which comes into specific and which comes into a general determiner. Let us once again list out the determiners. What comes under general? What are the general determiners? And what are the specific determiners? Under general determiners, Again, we can classify them. Like we have seen articles. In articles, we have a and an. And the next is quantifiers. All the quantifiers, they come under general determiners because we are indefinite about the quantity. So, we have a list of quantifiers. Any, many, few, some, both, etc. So, what are the determiners which come under specific? So, we have demonstratives, we have possessives, and we have the definite article the. So, under the determiners, we have learned about general determiners and specific determiners, and we can categorize them into like a and an, which are indefinite. They come into general determiners, and all the quantifiers come under the general determiners. Under specific, we have article the, all the demonstratives. Once again, the demonstratives are this, that, these, those, and all the possessives like my, his, her, your, our, its, etc. Now, let us see about the general determiners. Okay. So, to understand these general determiners in a proper way, like we need to know the noun that follows them. In nouns are of two types. We can call them as countable nouns and uncountable nouns. So, under countable nouns, we again have singular nouns and plural nouns. So, countable nouns are those nouns which can be counted. We can number them. So, they are countable, and again in that we have singular and plural. Like we say, one pen, more pens, girl, girls, etc. So, let us see singular countable nouns and the plural countable nouns. What are the determiners, general determiners that are used for singular nouns, and what are the determiners that are used for plural countable nouns? So, under singular nouns, we can use the determiners a, an, another, each, every, either, neither, another, etc. All these general determiners, these are the these are the determiners we use when we refer to singular nouns. When you come to the plural nouns, we use words like many, few, some, any, sorry, not much, more, most, other, etc. And we have a different set of nouns which we use for uncountable nouns. So for countable, we use many, few. For uncountable nouns, when we are referring to the uncountable nouns, can you write them here? We use in the place of many, we use much, little. Some is used for both countable and uncountable. Some, any, like we use several for plural. We don't use several for uncountable nouns. We use lots of, etc. So these are the general determiners which are used differently for singular nouns and plural nouns. So once again, let's see. General determiners. Under general determiners, we have indefinite articles, a, an. They say that the noun is indefinite. We also have quantifiers. Examples for quantifiers are some, few, little, many, much, several, fine, next, last, etc. They indicate quantity, number, rank or order, and we use these general determiners when we mention people or things for the first time, and when we speak about people or things generally without exactly referring to anyone or anything. We have learned that under specific determiners we use the definite article de. We use demonstratives, this, that, these, those, which indicate nearness or distance from the speaker. We use possessives. Possessives, we have seen the words my, your, his, her, its, our, their, which indicate possession and ownership. And the usage of these specific determiners is, we use these specific determiners when the people or things we are talking about have already been mentioned, and the listener or reader knows exactly which people or things we are referring to. So we have also learned that articles are words that define a noun as specific or unspecific. The words a, an and the, which are also demonstrative adjectives, are called articles. Under demonstratives, we have seen the words this, that, these, those, and this is used when referring to a person or thing who are close by. That is used when referring to a person or thing far away. These are used when referring to people or things close by, and those are used when referring to people or things far away. So under possessives, which also come under specific determiners, we have seen the words my, your, our, his, her, their, its, etc. Quantifiers is the next type of determiner, and these are words used at the beginning of noun phrase to express an amount or a degree of something. Under quantifiers, we need to make out whether the noun that they are referring to are countable nouns or uncountable nouns. Like under countable nouns, we use the words few, many, several, a great number of, a lot of. And under uncountable nouns, we use the words little, much, a large quantity of, a large amount of, a great deal of. Like you cannot use these words vice versa. Like in the place of little, you can't use few, or when you are in the place of many, you can't say much. Like when you are referring to an uncountable noun, you can't use the word many. Like you can't say there are many milk in the bottle. We say there's much milk in the bottle. There are few boys, we say. We don't say there are little boys in the class. Okay, so we need to have an idea what which quantifier to use before these countable and uncountable nouns. And we also have some quantifiers which are used both for countable and uncountable nouns. Like we have just seen now that the quantifiers, there are specific quantifiers which are used for countable nouns, and some quantifiers which are used for uncountable nouns. But there are some words which can be used for both the countable and uncountable nouns, and what you see here are the words which can be used for both countable and uncountable nouns. Like the words are all, some, enough, more, most, any, less, least, lots of, plenty of. So here we see the difference between the usage of many and much. Like many and much, they are quantifiers, they tell about the quantity of noun, and we use many when the quantity is more, but as I told you before, we can't use much in the place of many and many in the place of much. Now if you see there, you see some apples in the basket, so we say there are many apples in the basket. We can't say there are much apples in the basket. In the same way, when you are referring to uncountable nouns, we use the word much. So here you have an exercise on how much and how many. So remember that much is used with uncountable nouns and many is used with countable nouns. So we have dash juice have we got. So if you see the first sentence, it is juice. So juice is something which is uncountable. So we need to use much. And the next one is eggs. So eggs are countable. So we say how many eggs are there. Then we have balloons. So balloons are countable. So we say how many. So I want you all to try the remaining and fill the blank with how much or how many. Just make out whether the noun is countable or whether it is uncountable. For uncountables, you are using much, and for countable, you are using many. So here are the answers. Just check your answers if you have done them. We use much with uncountables and many with countables. So much lemonade, much butter, many cups, how many potatoes, how much milk is there, how many toys have the children got. So in this way, like we should be in a position to make out whether the noun is a countable noun or an uncountable noun and use the right quantifier. Then we have the quantifier few, a few, like few. We use when the number is very less. When noun that we are referring to is very less in number, and this is used only with countable nouns. As I told you earlier, few is used with countable nouns, and we need to know the difference between few, a few, and few. all the three words, they look alike, like they seem to appear as if there is no difference between few, a few and the few, but we use this for a specific situation, for specific reason. If you see few, okay, so few, a few, the few, they are used for different reasons. Like we use few when there is in a negative sense. When what we are referring to is almost nil, it couldn't be taken into consideration, then we use few. A few, it has positive meaning. We use it in a positive sense, and the few is used when we are telling something specific about the few that are available there. So we see that few means hardly any, it has a negative meaning. Few people, like for example, we can take when are we supposed to use few? Like if you take an example, few people are fully happy. So what does it mean? Few people are fully happy means like it's almost like nobody is fully happy. It is used in a negative sense. So few means hardly any, it has a negative meaning, and we use this when we mean that it's negative, it's almost nil. Then we have the determiner few. This has a positive meaning, and though it doesn't mean many, we can say that when there is specific number. I'll give you examples when we have to use few, a few and the few. The few means not many but all there are. It also has positive meaning. Like if you take an example, few cases of corona were recorded in March. Okay, like if I say few cases of corona were recorded in March, that means it's almost the number is negligible. Like if you take the total population of our country, the cases which were reported in the month of March were very few. It's almost a negative number. So in such case we use few. If few is used, like you can say, if I say a few cases of corona were recorded in April, I mean this has a positive meaning. I mean that there were a few cases which were reported, the number is a bit more. And the few means the few that when we are specifically referring to the few, like the few people who tested positive were asymptomatic. Okay, the few people who tested positive were asymptomatic. So when you refer to the few people who are available, then we use this the few. So few has a negative meaning, we use a few in a positive sense, when we mean that there is certain number, and we use the few when we are referring to the few that are already there. The same with little, a little and the little. So, little and few, they both mean the same, but few is used with countable nouns and little is used with uncountable nouns. The meaning is almost the same. The little means hardly any. It has a negative meaning. It's almost nothing. So, if I say there is little milk in the class, that means that there is no milk at all. It's of no use. Even the little milk that is available is of no use. So, he takes little interest in parental business. The meaning of this sentence is he takes no interest in the parental business. He has no interest. And the next one is a little means some, though not much. And this word it has a positive meaning. So, when I say there is a little sugar in the can, I mean that there is a little which can be used. So, it has a positive meaning. So, the little means not much, but all that is there, and even the little has the positive meaning, like the little milk that was in the can was drunk by the cat. So, next let us learn about the next quantifier, some. Like some is used for both countable and uncountable nouns, but it is used in a different way. So, some is used differently for countable and uncountable nouns. Some is used, it is an unstated amount or quantity of something. We use some in three types of sentence structures, and they are affirmative sentences, questions to ask for something, and questions to offer something. So, affirmative sentences are nothing but the positive sentences. When we refer to certain quantity, some quantity in the positive sentences, we use the word some. The next one is when questions to ask for something. When we are asking for something, we use some. And questions when we offer something, to others, even then we use some. Like, let's see examples of each of these types of sentences. Like I already told you that we use some with affirmative sentences when we are asking questions about anything, and when we offer something. So, here we have affirmative sentences. I already told you that this is used for both countable nouns and uncountable nouns, but it is used in a different way. Like in countable nouns, it is used in plural form to describe more than one unit, and the linking verb is in plural form, and some it is definitely more than one. So, when we refer to something that is more than one, more than two, etc., then we use some, and because the number is more than one in countables, we use a plural verb. And when you come to uncountable nouns, for positive sentences, it is used in singular form to describe unspecified amount. The uncountable noun is something that cannot be counted. It is an unspecified amount, like it has no mass. So, it is taken as a singular unit, and the linking verb which we use for that is singular in form. Some is also used for questions when we ask for something, like in again it is used in different way for countable nouns and for uncountable nouns. And when we use some for countable nouns, we say the noun is always plural in form. The noun is always plural in form. You say some apples, some students, etc. So, here you have an example, can I have some apples please, like you are asking for something, can I have some apples. So, in countable nouns, the noun is always plural in form. We have another question here. Will you give me some chocolates? Some chocolates. So focus on the plural form of the noun when it is uncountable. And when we use the same, when we ask question with an uncountable noun, it is, the noun is always in the singular form. Like we can never say some breads or some helps, etc. The noun is always singular in form when you are using some with an uncountable noun, whereas it is plural in form when it is used with countable nouns. So questions asked to offer something. We also use some when we ask when we offer something. Like we have example here. Would you like to have some soup? So when we are offering soup here. So would you like to have some soup, or do you want some cake? So we also use some when we ask when we are offering something. When we are asking questions, offering something to others. The next one is any. So remember that some is used in three cases. One is when we use a positive sentence, when we make questions asking for something, or when we offer something, then it is any. So the meaning of any again is, and it is used with an unknown or unstated amount of quantity of something, of a noun. So we use this with two types of sentence structure. When we are asking it is used for questions asking about existence of something, and it is also used with negative sentences. When we make negative sentences, we use any. So we don't use some when we are making negative sentences. Some is used when we make positive sentences, and any is used when you're making a negative of it. And even when you're asking when you're making questions about the existence of something, then we use any. Whereas the questions there is asked for something. When you offer something, you use the word some, but when you are when you're making a question to know about the existence of something, then we use any. So here we have some examples when to use any. As I already told you, any is used with questions asking about the existence of something, like do you have any books? Are there any cars in the park? So here these questions are asked to know about those things are there or not. So here we say, do you have any books? Are there any cars in the park? So they are countable nouns. Here these are uncountable nouns. So for countable nouns, it is followed by a plural noun, and when we refer to an uncountable noun, it is followed by a singular noun. So do you say, do you have any cheese? Is there any milk in the bottle? So we don't say milks, etc. So any, how is it used with negative sentences? We use any in negative sentences to mean even the smallest amount or quantity of something. We do not use some here. So we use any when we mean the smallest quantity of something. And the countable noun is plural in form. Like the example here is, he doesn't have any shoes. I don't have any books. So any negative sentences, it is, how is it used with uncountable nouns? The noun is always singular in form. Like you say, she doesn't want any advice. They don't have any water. So here advice and water, they are uncountable nouns. We have some more sentences here with any. In negative case, there isn't any milk in the glass. And when you say there is something, you say in positive sentence, you say there is some milk in the glass. So how can we use these two words while making sentences? Here are some examples. We use some and any like this. When we are making question, we use any. For a positive answer, we use some. For a negative answer, we use any. So, examples here is, do you have any money? Do you have any money? So, this is a question. So, you say, do you have any money? Yes, I have some money. And the negative sentence is, no, I don't have any money. So, some more examples here is, do you play any sports? If the answer is positive, then you say, yes, I play some sports. If it is negative, you say, I don't play any sports. So, here we can see that any is used with questions and negative sentences, and we use some for positive sentences. You have other example also here. You have a small exercise with some and any, like have you got, the first one is question. So, we use any tea. The second one is also a question. So, we say any tomatoes. Third one is bread, any bread. Could I have, it's you're asking for something. So, it is some cake please. So, you have the answers here. So, these are the answers, how to make use of some and any. So, just go through the list. We have few sentences here, like you'll have to make out which word fits into this blanks. So, first one is how dash homework. So, it's an uncountable noun. So, you say how much homework. The next one is I need to finish English essay that I started in the morning. So, because you are definite about it, I need to finish the English essay that I started in the morning. Then the next one is my friend took dash small gift for the child in the orphanage. So, here because it is indefinite, we use the determiner a. My sister rarely drinks any coffee. So, here because it is a negative sentence, we use any. Likewise, we have other sentences. When you are driving, it is advisable to carry some cash in your wallet. So, these let's go through these sentences. So, these are the answers for those sentences. The street looks deserted. There are dash people around. Okay, it looks deserted. It looks deserted. It appears as if there are nobody, because there are few people around. I already told you that few is used in a negative sense. Maybe you just find one or two people around. I have little time for sports. That means little, like it is not a little or the little here. I have little time for sports. So, we can take it in a negative sense, that says that we don't have any time for sports. So, you have some more sentences. The first one is I have very dash money. So, here money comes under uncountable noun. So, few is used with countable, little is used with uncountable. So, here we use I have little money. The government has to spend dash time. So, many is used with countable, more uncountable. So, here we say more time on implementing the schemes. My mother sent me to buy dash rice. Little is used with countable nouns. Some is used with both here. It is some rice. So, because you are definite about the book, we use the definite article the. So, I can speak a little English, but not very fluently. Please give me. It's positive sentence. So, we use some here. The students didn't pay much attention. Attention comes under uncountable, so we use the quantifier much. Can't you see this book? It's right here. So you have the answers here. Just check whether you have identified the right quantifier. So read these sentences. Like, there are some mistakes here. How many free time does he have for social work? So what is wrong here? So how many? In which case do we use many? So many is used with countable nouns. Here it is used with free time, which comes under uncountable. So you say, instead of saying how many, we say how much. So you have other sentences also. The answers for these sentences are here. Just read the sentences. How much free time does he have for social work? She never makes many mistakes. We can't say much mistakes because much is used with uncountable nouns. Mistakes are countable. Then I gave her advice. We don't use any article. She found a lot of information on the internet. The next one, in India is facing many challenges. It's countable. My brother went to supermarket. Here, if something is used for the primary purpose, we don't use the definite article. So every day I drink a glass of milk. So you drink a glass of milk every day. So today you have learned about determiners. The determiners which tell whether the particular noun is general or specific. Like we have learned about different types of determiners, and which determiner comes under specific determiner and which comes under general determiner. So hope you got an idea of these determiners, where to use is specific and general determiners. Like, practice more, only then you can make out the difference between these determiners, like where to use with which noun, etc. So I thank the higher officials for giving me this opportunity. So keep practicing, do as many exercises as possible to get a grip on these words. Like there are many words which are confusing, but if you keep practicing, you can master them. Thank you.